Hi, I'm Brandy with Calico Marketing and WealthyCRE.com. Today's topic is going to be 50 ways to bring in commercial real estate leads without cold calling. So I used to work in a commercial real estate brokerage. I know how it is. As soon as all your deals have passed and you have nothing a whole lot in the pipeline, what does your broker start screaming at you to do? Cold call. The thing is that cold calling is just one tool in a warehouse of tools to get lead generation. So today I'm going to talk to you about 50 different ways to gather those commercial real estate leads, and none of them are going to be cold calling. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. First, we're going to talk about word of mouth. So word of mouth is really just ensuring that everybody really just understands what you do. So if you're a commercial real estate agent, for instance, and all you do is just tenant wrap, then you just want to make sure that everybody really understands that you do tenant wrap. And if you have a real specialty like restaurants, then just make sure people know that restaurants. So word of mouth is really just trying to make sure that your friends and family and your clients and your colleagues all know your specialty and what services that you offer. So number one, ensure your friends and family know exactly what it is that you do. This can be complicated with commercial real estate because they'll start sending you residential leads, but you have to just be very firm and very clear that you only do commercial real estate. Number two, ask clients to tell their friends and colleagues about you. So this is just the act of trying to get referrals from people that you've done business with. One of the things that I would suggest doing is definitely just trying to follow up with all of your past clients. So anybody that you've done, all you have to really do is like an email newsletter, or even just drop them a line every once in a while. I personally like email newsletters because it's just something that I can just blast out to everybody, and I don't have to sit there and generate an individual email for every single person. So it's a little bit more streamlined. Number three, offer free consultations. So this is a good one, especially if you have those word of mouth leads coming in. You can do a free consultation to just kind of make sure that those people are going to be within your zone of genius. And number four, leave flyers and business cards out. While this might be great for tenant rep, if you're really into investor rep or landlord services, probably not the best thing, unless you're like at a mastermind or a networking sort of situation or event. I would not put them in the coffee shop, but if you are into tenant rep, definitely leave your business card around, just kind of like those random places where you see the little pegboards. Because who knows? And number five, don't be shy. Mention your services to anybody that will listen, whether it's networking groups or just random strangers, because you have, again, no idea whether or not they might have deals for you. So that is word of mouth, and we're going to move on to direct and email marketing. So one of the easiest ways to really get started in commercial real estate leads is actually just gathering a list of owners. So one of the ways that you can do that is Reonomy is a really good place for you to pull that sort of information. So you can go in there and even filter, like if you just want multifamily owners, or if you just want retail owners or office owners, you can go in there and really filter it, and even just like a radius around a zip code or particular areas that you specialize in. It's a really great way to just pull up that information real easily into an Excel spreadsheet. And a lot of times it does have email addresses and phone numbers for you to contact, and along with addresses, of course, so you can do mailers if you'd like to. And you can send that list to sales letters, postcards, and letters. So people always ask me, what about direct mail? Is it still like a thing? And it is. The biggest reason that people aren't doing it as often as they used to is cost. So it used to be even just like 5 years ago, you could get a postcard printed, mailed, and shipped for 30 cents. And nowadays you're looking at least $1 for that exact same postcard. So financially, it can be devastating if you've done, this 1,000 postcard campaign and like nothing has come back. So in versus, 1,000 emails are probably like $5 with like MailChimp or something like that. So so if you do mailers and you are seeing like a good return on investment, then just keep doing them. Otherwise, if you're brand new to the game and you haven't really hit the mailers yet, I would suggest leaving them out for now and not even coming back to them until you've kind of got your message a little bit sorted and you know kind of works and what doesn't. Otherwise, you could be out quite a bit of money. So one of the ways also that you can mail a little bit cheaper is by mailing or even sending an email of the cover letter and then some information on a property that person might be interested in. So and then you can even attach like a company brochure if you have one of those, or it just has kind of like the basic services. If you have your own brochure where it just shows, you and then the services that you offer and maybe even like a little bio, definitely stick that in there. And you can do that with both mailers and emails. So another one would be send an attractive postcard or e-cards announcing your potential services. Again, this is really just an advertisement. It can be the same kind of thing as the thing I mentioned earlier, where you just show your business services and maybe just a picture of you. So you don't have to do a picture of you. I already feel you thinking, oh my God, no, I would never put a picture of myself on there. But it is very beneficial if you do want to do a picture, at one of these mastermind events. If you've noticed with my website or anything, my face is like on every single page. Why is that? Well, at a mastermind, one of my friends said, why don't you have your picture on everything? And I said, because that's ridiculous. And she said, do you want to be too cool for school or do you want to be rich? And the answer was, I'd rather be rich. But because it's really great to use in some of those emails and the direct mails, especially in your advertisements, to just show you like at a coffee shop or whatever. You don't have to get like too crazy with it. But definitely think about it. And another one is send a mailed or emailed newsletter to keep in touch with those contacts. Again, I'm obviously like in love with newsletters. I'm always talking about them. I do a bi-weekly newsletter, but even if you just have time to just do a monthly newsletter, it's better than nothing. It's just about keeping in touch with people that will need your services in the future. Not every single person is going to need you right today and to give you money, but they will need you in a month or even in a year from now. So really just staying in touch and following up is the best way to make sure you're top of mind when they're ready to purchase. All right, another category, advertising. All right, not for the faint of heart. I always say that. Google AdWords. So, Google AdWords. How do you even begin? I'm not gonna lie to you. It's got a really high learning curve. So one of the things that I would suggest, though, if you are a brand new person, once you have your website, I feel like that's very important. If you're going to do Google AdWords, you at least need a landing page website. And then you can search you can get Google AdWords like really, really narrowed. So if you only are like, for instance, I'm in Arizona, let's say you only do like the Gilbert, Arizona area, or like Tucson, so you can even make your Google ads just to go to that one region. You can even make it just go to like a zip code within that region. So if you have like a couple of people, especially if you're just thinking of like investment whales or something, and you kind of know like we're all like the rich people with all the properties live, you can just select those areas on the map, or even just get the zip codes and just send Google AdWords to them. So I highly recommend Google Ads if you are willing to put in the work for it. Or if you're willing to hire somebody local, I feel like local is probably the way to go for Google AdWords. Another thing to consider is ads in your local magazine or newspaper. So I personally haven't had a ton of luck getting a good return on investment on local print ads. But if you do end up deciding that you really want to try it, one of the things that I would suggest doing is on your website, get yourself a URL that's just for the magazine. So it would be like slash ad or something like that, where people will go to that particular ad, just so you can kind of track to see whether or not that advertisement is really getting you leads or not. Submitting industry articles into even print or email newsletters that you think your client is going to be reading. This is a really good one, especially if you're a really good writer. So if you're not a really good writer, I would suggest go ahead and write yourself an article and then get an editor to come in and clean it up for you. And from there, you can submit it to several different newspapers. You can submit it to just some blogs that are related. So like if there's one that's like kind of like events in this area or whatever, what you can do is maybe like write up a thing about how a new office building has opened or how a new retail shop is opened. And at the end of it, you have your little blurb of, hey, if you're interested in tenant rep, or do you need help with your lease negotiation, I'll be available for that. So industry articles are really, they're kind of, I'll be honest with you, they're kind of time intensive, just because you're writing them, you're getting somebody to edit them, and then you have to figure out who to send it to. And then it's really just kind of, they call it spray and pray, where you're just kind of like blasting it out and you're just hoping that somebody is going to pick it up. But I mean, that's just kind of how PR is. But if you are interested in that, it's a really good way to really get yourself out there. And it is free. It's just, it's a little bit time intensive. Another one is don't forget to send out holiday cards, and you don't have to just do Christmas. You can do 4th of July, you can do Memorial Day, you can do some of the ones that people don't really take on, so that you're looking a little bit more, so you don't really have to fight with other people's attention. You can do them on kind of off holidays. So another one, and you guys are gonna hate me for it, it's social media. So social media is going to be the way everybody communicates in the future, unfortunately, for people like you and me, probably, that hate social media. But that is how things are going to be. Comment on industry blogs, draw prospects back to your website, link your blog articles to show your expertise. Of course, if I suggest doing like a weekly blog or even a monthly blog, just so you have something to put on your social media. It's just some original content that you can add, because it is very important to put some original content, not just keep putting in news articles and things like that. Post with popular hashtags. You'll notice that mine is always hashtag commercial real estate, hashtag CRE, on pretty much everything, and then I kind of mix it up for the other ones, and that's just to try to get that commercial real estate industry in there. Another one is post your newest listings and then congratulate new tenants. So if you do tenant rep and you're like, oh, I never have like a listing, like you can always congratulate, like, hey, this restaurant just moved in here. I just wanted to congratulate them on their new business ventures. Another one, of course, announce anything that's new, or announcements for new services, new agents that you've added onto your team, anything like that on social media, just you're trying to get people back into your website. So it's just a really great way to advertise your website. Another category where you can get leads is associations. When you join an industry association or like a group, a lot of times they will post a link to your website on theirs, just to show all their clients that they have in there. So that's one really good way to like get people onto your website and to get some of those backlinks that SEO really needs. Another one is join local NIOP chapters, participate in their functions. Those are a really good one for networking too, just to see like industry colleagues and basically just sort of mastermind some of those sales techniques and stuff. Another one is join the local Better Business Bureau. It's a really great one, especially if you're in tenant rep, to really get some of those leads in who's leaving what space, who needs lease negotiations, that sort of thing. Better Business Bureau is one of the better ones for networking. I highly recommend it. Another option is joining your local university or college. You can do this as just a mentor, even if you're not an alumni. And you can even guest speak in some events. Sometimes, usually, they'll have like a hosting sort of thing or some award ceremony, and they'll just need some guest speakers to, and you can always just talk about like the commercial real estate market, business in general, sales, that sort of thing. So it's a really great way to just sort of get your name out there and get that word of mouth also going. And another thing is, of course, related to this other one, is offer to be a guest speaker during some organizational events. And also, you can always apply to be a guest speaker at some of the larger ones, or even have like a guest speaker thing where people pay to get into your class. So that's a really good one, is associations. Another one we're going to go over is charity. So social involvement in churches, schools, universities, and others can bring in a lot of leads, just because you're going to be in front of a lot more people than you would normally. One of the other things to do is offer free consultations. If you want to offer discounted rates, I would suggest just doing it for charitable organizations or nonprofits. I wouldn't suggest doing it for every single person you've met at a charitable event. But if you are just going to deal with like a charity here and there, then you can't offer them a discount without everybody asking if they can have that discount too. Donations to charities are often rewarded with a link to your website. This is really great also because, again, you get those higher ranks in Google if you have your website linked to like a .org or like a very coveted .gov. So if you do have the ability to make a donation and get your link on any of those kind of sites, then definitely do it. It is worth it for your website rankings. So another one is to give discounts to referrals, but I would suggest only do it as like an act now to really try to get them to commit to something like right away. So if you are like a Better Business Bureau or a sort of a charitable event and people are kind of thinking about like renegotiating their leases or whatever, if you do like a kind of like an act now, just tell me whether or not you want it, because this discount is only going to happen like within the next 2 hours, then it's a good way to kind of get that ball rolling, especially if you don't have like a whole lot in your pipeline right now and you're kind of just wanting to make that car payment or whatever it is, just really, really fast. It's a good way to just try to, hit it with a discount right away and then take it away, and then, don't do it again until, don't make it like a normal thing, because then people will sit around and wait for that discount to happen. But don't make it normal. Just be like, I never do this, but I'm going to do it right now. Another idea is to participate in events and leave out handouts and promo items. So that leads me actually into the next one, which is promos. Now, one of the big things, and whenever I was a marketing person, in a company, promos, I would never buy the cheap stuff. I always bought the highest end pen with the logo on it. I always bought the highest end tote bags. I always bought the water bottles that don't taste horrible as soon as you open them up. And yes, they are more expensive, but if you're going to be at a big convention and you're giving out something, you want to be the one with the best product, because everyone else will take that crappy tote bag and put it right in the trash, which means that it's absolutely useless and you've wasted your money. But if you have the good tote bag with the little water keeper and the little thing on the side for the business cards, and it's got a zipper or whatever, whatever the new thing is, I don't even know. But if you have the best items, people will wear them, and they'll wear them all around. And they'll even, every once in a while, you'll see them at the beach or at the pool or whatever, and they have your tote bag. It's really weird. It's happened to me a couple of times from I made that weird. So another option is to pass them out at events. So as long as they don't totally trash you for being the person that brings the promos to the events, maybe wait 1 or 2 times to just make sure if anybody else brings promos, and if they trash them, then you know not to do that. But for the most part, people kind of like some promos, and you won't get a lot of crap for it. So for the most part, you can usually pass them out at events. Another idea, and this was very popular in Las Vegas, was hire a photographer for the event. And so the photographer would take the picture, and then they would hand the person the picture with your business card on it. So if you do like one of those, like if you want to sponsor like an event, like one of those booths where they have, you know, the picture and then all the outfits or whatever, you can do that. It's really fun for any kind of event. And then every single time they hand somebody their printed out picture, it will have your business card or flyer or whatever on it. And it's just a great way to really get your name out there in like a really fun way. And then they already feel like, you know, you've paid the $10 or whatever for their photo. And so they're already grateful. So they'll probably keep your stuff around for quite a bit. Another idea is to pass out those little flash drives with your logo and contact information on it. It's something that you end up keeping for forever. Like I probably have some flash drives from like 15 years ago just to keep in my purse for those times when you know, the printer doesn't work or whatever, and you can, it's like the network doesn't work, so you can like plug it in and then put it in the printer and you get it to work, and then every single time I always see that logo on there. So it's a great way to stay top of mind, and it's very inexpensive nowadays to do those flash drives. And if you insist on the cliche flashlights with the keychain, just get the good ones. That's the only thing I ask of you, because like the ones that have absolutely no light on them, I throw them completely away. Like I don't even mess with them or whatever. But if I have like a really good like flashlight with the light on them, then I'll keep it for forever. But again, don't cheap out on promos. It's totally useless. If you get the 3-cent pen that doesn't even work, people are just gonna trash it, and then it's just totally wasted your time and your efforts. And the next one coming up is going to be network. So industry conventions are a great way to meet new leads and new people. There's all kinds of them, and you can even go to some of the ones that aren't like as often tread. So like if you are somebody who is really interested in investor rep, or even trying to just get some more developers kind of in your lead funnel, you might want to think about going to some of those builders conventions. The cement convention is huge, and it's full of people where all they do all day is build giant high-rise buildings. So it's a great way to meet people, and it's kind of like off the beaten path. So not a lot of people in commercial real estate professionals will go to some of those. Participate in trade shows. So one of the things you could do is, of course, you know, sponsor an event if you'd like to. Another thing is to nominate yourself for something. A lot of times they have like some sort of award ceremony. Don't wait for somebody else to nominate you. You can nominate yourself. Nobody cares. And then if you're chosen, you get to be in front of everybody and get an award, which is always very nice. You can cross promote with other industries. So you can say, you know, so for instance, if you're at the cement place and you find somebody who you just do industrial, and but like the person that you meet is you know, an office builder, and they're interested, you can be like, oh well, I'm going to refer you to my friend that actually does office buildings, and then you can get your referral payment off of that. Another idea on that same idea is to make friends with a powerful contender that isn't necessarily in your target market. So again, if you do industrial and you know somebody else that's a real hot shot with office, you can just go back and just get those referral fees, which are always really nice because it's money for basically doing absolutely nothing but showing other people who to handshake. 10 more, and then we're finally done. Next category, email blast services. So this one is a really great way to get your properties out there, especially if you're new and you don't have a very large email list yet, or if you just want to blast it out to a bunch of people outside of your network because you haven't been able to find somebody inside your network that wants to buy your property. So one email blast service is called Big Boys Blast. They claim about 120,000 emails in their system. You can separate by US, Canada, or even by industry. So if you just want to send it to people that are interested in multifamily, you can. Or if you just want to send out an email to investors, you can specify that too. The next one is Property Blast. Property Blast claims about 90,000 emails in their database. This one is a really great one for leases because you can do it by state. So if you just want to do, like the dry cleaners or whatever, and you're having a really hard time turning that one over, Property Blast might be a great way to really hit those small niches. And Property Send is the next one. It claims 120 emails in their database. This is one of the few that have a subscription service where you can get it a little bit cheaper. So if you are interested in doing a lot of emails, Property Send might be one of the best choices for you. The next one is Property Campaign. This one claims 180,000 emails in their database. They're pretty much the same as the other ones. You can separate by investors or brokers or agents, and then you can also separate by industrial, retail, etc. The next one is going to be Data Axle. So Data Axle is really good if you're doing a lot of leases because it's going to give you business entity information. So that manager that you're looking for, like if you have like a suite that you haven't been able to sell and you just want all the State Farm agents in like your area to just send it out to, Data Axle is going to be a really great place where you can pull that information and either email or send them a physical mailer in the mail. Last category, listing databases. LoopNet, of course, the biggest one available, most recognized commercial real estate brokerage database. It has over 500,000 listings just on their own database. Widely used. I highly recommend it, of course, to just get your listing out to as many people as possible. Another one is, I always say this wrong, so I apologize, Cerexi. It's Crexi. They're another one where they're pretty much just American properties, 80,000 American properties listed. And they have some tools too where it can help you from the moment that you've listed it all the way to the close. So it has some management tools available too. The next one is Real Massive. Real Massive is a digital marketplace, and it has a bunch of office, retail, industrial spaces. It also provides its customers with insights, so like market knowledge and comps, that sort of thing. The next one is going to be Catalyst, and it's spelled Cat-Y-List if you are looking for it in the search engine. Catalyst provides services for individuals. It also has a free option where people can at least just look at all the listings for free. It also has a paid subscription that includes access to some of their tools like comps and research, that sort of thing. Next one and last one, Quantum Listing. Anyone can search all of the listings for free. Members have access to some marketing tools, which makes it really nice. So that's it. 50 different ways to generate leads without cold calling. Now, I'm not saying that cold calling is dead, but if you do want to bring your cold calling game into the 21st century, I highly recommend a voicemail drop. So feel free to just Google a voicemail drop and you'll see a bunch of companies. But basically what it is you take your list with all of your contact information, including their phone number. You'll need direct lines for the office ones. You put it into their system, you record a pre-recorded message, and then you just hit a button and then boom! Thousands of messages get delivered all at once for very little time and effort. It's wonderful. So if you are looking to continue doing your cold calling, highly recommend you look into direct voicemail. It's very inexpensive. It's one of the greatest ways to really get your cold calling game into the 21st century. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit subscribe down below if you do want to get additional videos from me. Hit like if you liked this video, and check out wealthycre.com for my video bootcamp that teaches you how to attract more clients and make more money. All right, I'll see you in the next one. If you like this video, check out my bootcamp at wealthycre.com. Not your typical boring lessons in terminology and contract writing. You already know that. These are lessons on marketing practices, that are designed for commercial real estate professionals to gain leads and increase your income. Learn to target your market, brand yourself, build your leads list, marketing techniques, and so much more. Check out the video courses today and supercharge your income.